I love going off topic. I think it's fun. But to the point of the band, Princess Goes, how would you describe the sound to my audience? Because I heard you guys describe it as gothadelic and rocktronic, which is awesome.
Yeah, I don't know if we're going to top those.
Or explain what that means.
Yeah.
Well, we're men of a certain age, and
if nothing else, it means. No, go ahead.
No, you go. I had nothing to say. I was just gonna say that we gathered a lot of influences, you know.
Yeah, I think definitely speaks to the fact that the sound is pretty. That there are multiple influences, and we definitely aren't sort of bound by restrictive idea of how we are supposed to sound, and we are our own sensibility.
You're breaking up a bit. I can't. Oh shit.
Oh shit. I'll pick it up.
Okay. But
basically, we're men of a certain age, and we've grown up, you know, with many influences. No worries. And we love electronic music. We have our rehearsal space / recording studio in downtown New York, and it's in a residential building, and we can't really play really loud live drums in there. So when we started, just out of necessity, we were kind of making more electronic digital sounds, and we eventually we've evolved into using more acoustic instruments over the last 5 years. So I don't know, there's just a lot of influences in there, and our music kind of spans the gothadelic, like rocktronic. I don't know, it kind of is in the words, you know.
Yeah. So it's just the three of you though, right? Or do you add like players for live shows?
No, we could. I mean, I suppose we could. If the budget were more extravagant, I suppose we could have a much more extravagant stage presentation. But yeah, the three of us make it happen. And yeah, it's just the three of us.
Yeah, because some of the songs have guitars, and like I think there's one that even has a guitar solo. So that's just all pre-recorded then?
Not necessarily. I mean, there's definitely some tracking involved, but I think any distinct solos are definitely played live. And some of what you maybe there are guitars on the record, but some of what you maybe think are guitars might be Matt playing the keytar, which he has a sort of singular skill to make sound like anything
he plays the keytar out of a Marshall amp, so he makes it sound like a guitar somehow. He's a wizard.
That's awesome. So it's just the three of you making all that. That's amazing that you can do all that stuff live too, because that seems like it would be complicated with all the different sounds and instruments and things.
Yeah, there definitely is a bit of a setup involved. I mean, not for me. I just plug my mic in. But
do you get like a tambourine or anything too that goes with it? You just sing?
No tambourine. I mean, an internal one.
Good idea, Chuck. That's a really good idea. Hey,
because what was interesting, because I think Michael, I heard you talking about your influences as a frontman. And you mentioned David Lee Roth, and you mentioned Mark Lanigan, who played with I'm from Seattle, so I know Screaming Trees, but I also know he played with Queens of the Stone Age. That's like a very eclectic range of frontmen.
Well, yeah, I was trying to pick the sort of the people at the opposite ends of the showmanship spectrum.
Yeah,
you know, somebody who's doing high kicks, and then somebody who's just completely standing and delivering like a tree rooted to the ground. That's Lanigan, of course. But yeah, I think I gave that answer to say that I don't know where I fall on the spectrum between those two extremes. But basically it's not about the how, it's about the what, you know. I mean, I'm drawn to people who do whatever they do is captivating, you know. You just want to be captivated, and that can happen in all kinds of ways.
Yeah. So do you create kind of like a stage persona, or is it more just like you're able to be yourself on stage and just based on what you've been influenced by?
Both, you know. I mean, I think a persona sort of organically develops the more time you spend on stage. And you know, there's a way of being when you're doing that kind of thing that's out of sync with the way you are at the grocery store or the way I am right now, you know. But I'm not, you know, in a trance. I know it's me. So in that sense, I am being myself. I'm just being myself in that situation, which is somewhat heightened.
Yeah, I would think too, the adrenaline for all you guys being on stage, like you get hyped up playing music, I would think.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's like there's nobody's gonna do it if we don't. So it's like, all right, let's do it, you know. And it's live. It's there's nothing. It's a unique kind of invigoration to be in front of an audience and be charged with the responsibility to take them on a ride and to deliver, you know.
Yeah, did you guys get a pretty good response from the audiences so far when you play this live?
Yeah, we just played in Atlanta on Sunday, and I don't know, it wasn't just us feeling it. I think there was some sort of symbiosis with the audience that it happens, and it's when it does it's pretty incredible. But there was this matching of energy, and then that energy ball just kept like rising up until like it was like crazy energy. And it wasn't like a huge crowd or anything. I mean, it was a decent sized crowd, but it was just like the energy got palpably epic. And that doesn't always happen at every show. I think it has to do with the energy of us and the day that everyone's having and the lunar cycle. Probably, I don't know. It's all over the place, but it was a crazy show. And they seemed to be. We toured in Europe in October and in England. Went back over there again, and it was, yeah, the energy was definitely growing at our shows. So I don't know. It's an area that we're really interested in just checking out and see how far we can take it, you know, and how much energy we can generate, I guess.
Yeah, and I guess it depends too on the songs because Princess Goes is a little eclectic. I mean, it has slower songs, it has more upbeat. But Pete, did you play you played drums in a Black Sabbath tribute band with the bassist from Smashing Pumpkins? Tell me about that. That sounds amazing.
Yeah, yeah, that was a band called Hand of Doom with Melissa Oftemar on playing Ozzy. I was the drummer, and yeah, it was a really fun band. It was, I mean, I don't know if you love Sabbath as much as we do, but it's just such an, there's just the riffs are, you know, nobody wrote riffs like that, and the drummer was so great. So it was just a really fun band. I think for all of us to take a break from our day job bands and to just learn those songs, which I think every musician should learn those Sabbath songs. They're so fucking fun to play. It was really fun to play that music. So, yeah, and it also kind of informed like, oh, like let's write some stuff. I think even in Princess, we have a little bit of Sabbath in there. Some throughout our 3 records, there's some influences of riff-tastic.
Yeah. I was going to ask, cause like, I know we've mentioned some older bands and stuff, but as an interviewer, I'm always like watching other interviewers, like current, to see what's, you know, I can borrow from styles and, you know, see what kind of questions they ask. Do you guys watch current bands and look at current music to kind of see what other bands are doing to kind of learn from that or get influence from newer bands?
Matt, what do you think?
Oh, hey, sorry I'm jumping on late there.
Welcome, Matt.
Can you hear me okay? Hey, welcome. Thanks. Thank you. Yeah, we love newer bands. I just saw an artist from Poland called Tanya Rani, which I'm obsessed with now. She's sort of the indie classical vibe, and it's just incredibly amazing. Also obsessed with Bomba Estéreo, which is a band from Colombia, and yeah, we just can't get enough of them. So yeah, we're all kind of obsessed with Bomba Estéreo.
So you guys are, have you ever heard of the band? Because this is what reminded me when I heard Princess Goes. I was like, oh, it reminds me of this band called Cigarettes After Sex. Have you guys heard of that band?
You're not the first person that's told us that. We got to check them out. Are they really handsome? And
They're three incredibly handsome gentlemen, I think.
I
Yeah,
don't know.
they were cool. I have some of their stuff on my playlist that I listen to occasionally. Yeah.
Yeah, Matt, I thought this was interesting. I was reading that you were in this project Daddy, and that got praise from Thurston Moore of Sonic Youth. He really loved your arrangements and stuff. I mean, that's a pretty a big compliment.
Thank you. Well, that's diving deep. Man, you dove deep. We used to write that Thurston Moore quote on our flyers back in the day. Yeah, Thurston and Kim lived in my friend's building. So when I was over there, I would occasionally run into them in the hall and sit down with them. They were always so cool. I've always been a huge fan of theirs growing up, in New York, and just loving, their noise and their noisy sound in general. So I asked if they would give a listen to our project, and they did, luckily, and that's what they said. I think Thurston called it inspired and said something like, yeah, the sounds are really cool, and I was like, ooh, man, we're going to talk about that on a podcast in like 20 years. Is that cool with you? I mean, it's like, what the hell's a podcast, man? And that was it.
Well, yeah, and you play with Debbie Harry, and she's a fan of Princess Goes. Explain this. I didn't understand the story. She helped carry your gear one time?
Oh, more than one time. Yeah. She actually loves to help. She's very helpful. She carries the drums around. She carries Peter's drums. She carries whatever she can. She works out, so she's pretty buff, And yeah, she loves to help. She's driven us around in her van. She's a big supporter and a fan of Princess, and a roadie, I should say, a roadie as well.
Yeah, I love too the album artwork for this one, the flower petal skull. This was Tim Richardson that designed this, and he also did the music videos.
Yeah. Tim came to see us in New York, and we had been put in touch with him by a mutual friend, and he was into the music. We gave him some tracks. He responded to Shimmer in particular and did the video for that song. And yeah, also included the album art. They look like flower petals, but they're actually the wings of like butterflies and moths, making up that skull. And then there's a crown of wings as well. But it just so happened that coincided with us shortening our name, so it was a good way to sort of incorporate that iconography. Even though Princess can now go to more places than just the Butterfly Museum, butterflies remain a part of our DNA.
Yeah. So the song "Coming of Age," very Bowie vibe on that one. How did you come up with the lyric? I love this. Godzilla goggles, seeing nothing but King Kong makes it hard to get along. That is a great line. How did you come up with that?
I don't know. It came upon me. I think, but it was a way to talk about, living in a world where we all have our own sort of curated and myopic point of view that in ways we're not always aware of is encouraging us to be at odds with the rest of the world, and so that's what that was about.
When you came up with that, were you like, oh, that's fucking great? I definitely
actually, you know what? I came up with that, and then I had another version that was that obviously wasn't as good because I can't remember it, and I went in to record the vocal. I was in the closet actually in the studio because we'd been getting some noise complaints from some of his new neighbors. So I was in there and I was trying different, and I was a little gun shy about that lyric, and I told Peter the other alternative, the one I can't remember, and he was like, "Nah, man, definitely Godzilla goggles." So he's the one who gave me the go ahead to go with that. Yeah, alliteration is fun, and monster movies are fun. So if you can work both the lyric.
No, absolutely. When you guys filmed that video, how did you do that? Because maybe I'm stupid because I don't know how, but it looks like you're walking through New York and there's just random people. I'm like,
That's
you probably didn't hire. Is it CGI or how did you do it?
No, it's all
Most
real.
of them are paid actors. None of them were actors. It's all just random.
Yeah, just guerrilla style. We had one camera operator and then Marcos, our director, and then someone who was helping us with sound because, the video, we're moving in slow motion, but the lip sync is in time. So we had this sort of sped up version of the song in our ears. And I was singing like a sort of sped up version of the lyrics so that my mouth would be in time. But yeah, I mean, Times Square that time of night, it was like, I don't know, somewhere between, it was around 10 o'clock or something. And it was just jammed with people. And there's so much going on. It's so chaotic that nobody really even paid us much mind. They paid us a sort of like, oh yeah, kind of mind, but nobody really fixated on us because there were so many other little mini carnivals going on in that world. So we pulled it off. No permits.
That's crazy. Yeah, nobody recognized you. Nobody came over. Like usually if there's a camera, there's some kid with like middle fingers, like, fuck you. None of that.
There was a little bit of that, but
it's New York, so nobody really gave a shit,
Yeah, and the fact that we were on the move and we're walking and there's someone sort of walking backwards behind us. People just kind of get out of the way and are perplexed, and by the time they have a chance to jump in, they've been distracted by something else, or we've moved on down the street. So yeah, I wasn't sure the experiment would work. Originally, we were going to shoot it really, really, really in the wee hours of the morning in hopes that it would be deserted, but it turned out we did it earlier, and I think it was all the better for it. It's so much more fun that we're just walking through.
That's crazy. I can't believe that you actually filmed it that way. What about the beautiful woman that walks in front? That's got to be an actor.
Nope,
or something.
that just happened.
Really?
And it happened right at that lyric, and we just kept going because. But yeah, I know that was like a perfect.
That would have been distracting to me. I'd be like, oh, hold on, I gotta go talk to her.
Yeah.
That's great. Well, that's fun. Glasswing, that's a cool song too. Slower tune, kind of a bright, sunny vibe to it though. It's a 2-chord song, and that one's got the guitar solo as well. But you guys had some issues writing this song?
I'm not sure what issues you're referring to, but what do you mean?
Well, I just heard you talking about how we had some issues writing that. So I don't know what they are. Maybe you
don't. No. That was the story of the lyrics, and I think without getting too much into that, I think we had gone through something early in the band with somebody that we were working with, and that's all we'll really say about it. It was just like we were working something out, and Mike came up with a perfect lyric that just sort of put everything to rest and put it into perspective. So it wasn't issues recording it. It was just dealing with something that we were going through as a band. And it was a perfect way to deal with
it. The lyrics are, at least in part, about issues, but the songwriting itself was pretty issue free.
Would that be a future single or video, or do you have future singles and videos lined up?
Yeah, we do. I think we just released the record last month, or, about a month and a half ago. And so we feel like we're just starting, and we've already released several singles. And I think we imagine we're probably going to release every song as a single, whatever that means. And maybe we'll get lucky and make a video. We got a couple in the works, but Glasswing is definitely going to be a single. And we've yet to figure out what video we will do, but it's going to be something epic.
Okay. And then what about touring? I know you have some shows you've already done and then some lined up. Is there something like maybe a package that you would line up with other bands, like 2 or 3 other bands of similar sounds, or is there certain venues you want to play, or a festival you'd like to see yourselves on?
Yeah. You want to be our manager?
That'd be fucking awesome.
We have a manager.
Okay.
But those are all cool ideas. I mean the package thing. we haven't really, I mean, we've played with openers, but we haven't done a formal sort of package deal before. That's an interesting idea. And I mean, yeah, we want to play.
Yeah, I mean, I just feel like that's such a. I see local bands here in Phoenix, and they're amazing. And I love music. I love live music. I feel like the only way you set yourself apart, it's all about the business stuff, how you strategize all that stuff. Because your music is great, obviously. It's just hard, it's hard to get. It's competitive to get out there, and I feel like when you get a package where it's like people could see like, oh, 3 bands, oh, I'd go to that. You could play bigger venues and get the word out. I don't know.
Yeah. So we're actually playing. My apologies if you discussed this already, but we're playing at the Troubadour in Los Angeles with Light Asylum, which is a band we love and some good friends of ours. And we're also doing San Francisco with Light Asylum. So they're kind of a hand-picked opening band. We love to retain that vibe. Although that's also, that's kind of a package show because they've been at it for years and are amazing as well.
Yeah, do you like? What is it like to play those iconic venues like the Troubadour and the Whiskey? I mean, that must be so amazing.
Yeah, it feels good. We've done some cool clubs in Europe and Paris. We were in a really, really cool club in Berlin. It was like kind of like a castle. But to your other question, we've been invited to play a couple festivals this summer and in Europe, and those would we're trying to work out this year when we can get in some festivals, because we are curious to see what it's like. Sometimes those can be really fun, and sometimes those can be really like clusterfucks excuse my language, of just too many bands, too much, But I think it'll be fun I feel like in my mind anyway, when we're making songs and music that are meant to be played on a big stage. At least that's what we're hoping to see, if that's true. Like we belong on the big stage. I don't know. Stop me, somebody.
You guys have time for a couple more questions, or do you have another one?
We got it. Like maybe one more.
Yeah.
Okay, one more question. Okay. So big question for, if you could all answer this, actually, I'm curious, because you all have such high levels of success. What is the secret to success, like in terms of like a mindset or habits or behaviors? Is there any sort of advice you would give in terms of for not just music, but maybe just how could people apply those principles to their own lives?
Just keep showing up and don't let the turkeys get you down. That's what I'd say.
Yeah, and I would say try to. That's a good question. Maybe collaborate with your friends if you can, because it's always better to have some energy to bounce off of, and hopefully that energy is somebody that you already like and that likes you, and you already have a copacetic energy. But like Mike said, just keep doing it. Don't listen to any noise or criticism, and just keep doing it and ask yourself what your ambitions are. And once you can answer that question, maybe put yourself in the best position to do it. That's a terrible question. I had a better answer for this yesterday.
I actually fucking love, that's a very unique answer, but it's actually very good. I like that. Very, very cool. Well, thanks guys. I know you got to get to another one. The album is out now. It's called Come of Age, and it's available on Spotify, all the streaming things. Can people get a physical copy if they want, like a vinyl or something?
Absolutely.
Sure can. It's all online. It's all in the thing, in the stuff. Go to the stuff.
Okay, I'll put the website in the show notes.
Beautiful material artifact.
Yeah, I love that cover art, like I said. So very cool. Well, thank you so much. And I'll look forward to seeing you live, hopefully someday.
Thanks, Chuck.
Thanks so much, Chief.
Thank you, Chuck.
All right. Bye-bye.
See ya.
Thank you for taking the time to listen to the full podcast episode. Please help support our guests by following them on social media and purchasing their products, whether it be a book, album, film, or other thing. And if you have a few extra dollars, please consider donating it to their favorite charity. If you want to support the show, you can like, share, and comment on this episode on social media and YouTube. And if you want to go the extra mile, you can give us a rating or review on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or Google Podcasts. Finally, make sure you're subscribed to the show on YouTube for the video versions and other exclusive content. We appreciate your support. Have a great rest of your day and shoot for the moon.